Everybody, this is Claire from MyRaces.Live, and today I want to talk about a key requirement for a successful live stream, which is your internet connection. Whatever live streaming equipment you use inside your race car, you're gonna need to provide that live streaming equipment with a really good internet connection when you are on the racetrack. For example, to stream at a resolution at 720p, you already need a 1.3 megabit per second of upload bandwidth from the network. If you are live streaming from the comfort of your home, you can use your home Wi-Fi, and your home Wi-Fi can easily handle that. But once you head to the racetrack and you put your live streaming equipment inside your race car, it's a completely different story. What can you do to maximize your internet connection in those very specific type of environment is what we're gonna cover today. So let's talk about the first option, which is the most commonly used by the racing community, and it is to use the 4G LTE network. The LTE network is the same network that is used by your mobile phone. In the US, for example, the three big carriers are Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You will find that some racetracks are covered well by all three of them. For example, that's the case at Laguna Seca here in California. You can choose T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T, they all work great at the track location. And then there are some racing areas and some racetracks that are not covered by any of them. For example, if you do dirt racing in the desert, LTE network is not a good solution for you. Finding out which provider works best at which racetrack is really the name of the game here, and so your goal is going to try to figure that out before you invest in live streaming. The last thing that you want to do is to invest a lot of money in a live streaming equipment and then realize there is no network coverage at the location you race at. So how do you figure that out? Well, you do have to do a little bit of research. But the good news is there's more and more people streaming their races today, and the knowledge is there. For example, we race in California, and we know very well that Verizon works really well at most of the tracks here. Buttonwillow, Thunderhill, Laguna Seca, and Sonoma are very well covered by Verizon. So my first tip for you is ask around what network solution people are using at the local tracks that you go to and really focus on those tracks. Another tool that you can use is available on our website. If you go to MyRaces.Live website and you click on resources and then track score database, that will redirect you to our database where you can search for a given track and you can read about what ourselves or other team have experienced for a given service provider. Another trick that I use sometimes for a new racetrack is I check on my personal phone how the signal reception is with my carrier. If I go to a new track and my phone is not working at all from the paddock with, for example, my Verizon carrier, it's a good indicator that Verizon is not going to work well there. And maybe you have a teammate that has AT&T and his AT&T connection is really good. You can even grab your phone, install a live streaming software on your phone, take your phone with you in the car and see how well it works. If you manage to stream from your phone inside a car with a basic application, then it's a good indicator that live streaming there is going to work really well, especially with more dedicated live streaming equipment. If you're in a situation where you find that some tracks work better with provider A and then other tracks works better with provider B, you can also look at working with multiple providers, either by finding a network service that supports multiple carriers or by buying a data plan with each carrier, and then you can either switch carrier based on where you go live streaming, or you can use bundling to leverage both carriers at the same time. So now that you have chosen your network provider, is there anything else you could do to maximize your network reception within the race car? You might find some racetracks works really well for 90% of the racetrack, and then you go to a certain section, for example, the banking at Daytona, and then your signal reception drops. Your live stream quality is really impacted. The same thing could happen, for example, if you place your live streaming equipment inside a very enclosed race car, your signal reception could decrease. So what can you do about that? The secret weapon that will make a really big difference with regard to signal reception is the ability for your live streaming equipment or hotspot to attach a higher gain antenna. This is, for example, the live streaming equipment that we sell as part of the MyRaces.Live kit, and you can see that this equipment has the ability to attach external 4G antenna. That means that if you place the equipment in a very enclosed car, or if you want to attach a bigger antenna, you have the ability to do so. This is, for example, an antenna that you can mount on the outside of your car and that really boost and maximize the signal reception. Finally, about LTE network, don't underestimate the importance of the data plan that you're going to choose. Forget completely about trying to use a cheap prepaid card, it simply won't work. Your plan needs to give you a high speed and enough bandwidth for live stream. You can count between 1 to 1.5 gigabit of data use per hour of streaming. So if you do endurance racing at least once a month, you're gonna require 40 gig, 50 gig plans. And if you do more than that, I would highly recommend to go with an unlimited plan. It is absolutely worth the money, not having to worry about your internet connection and data usage. So now I want to talk about satellite network. What are the reasons why you would want to use satellite networking instead of LTE networking? Well, the first option I can think of is when you do dirt racing in the desert, you really don't have the option to use LTE network. So your only option is really satellite networks. That's one reason why people use Starlink. The other reason why people may use Starlink instead of LTE network is because racing that they do always have a really big crowd and everybody is using the same cellular network and it's completely saturated. You might be able to stream really well on the test day where nobody is around yet, and then the moment everybody shows up on Saturday, the network is completely congested and there's no bandwidth for your live stream to work. For Starlink Mini, which is the most compact Starlink dish you can buy today, the price is between $200 to $250 based on whether you're a new user or not. If you compare it with a basic hotspot, you would buy one for around $200 as well. And then if you have a live streaming equipment like this one where LTE is integrated, then of course your hardware cost is zero. With the Starlink, the hardware and monthly plan combined feels a bit more expensive than a simple LTE network solution, but I don't think it's by much, and you have the ability to pause or resume your monthly subscription with Starlink, which you don't usually have with an LTE network provider. For me, the main drawbacks or challenges is that it has to have a clear view of the sky. We have seen a few racing teams using a Starlink very successfully in their race car. If you like those type of projects and you're not afraid of them, why not? For some teams, it's totally worth it, and for others, a good LTE setup that's simpler to mount is the best solution. So let us know in the comments what you think. What have you been using for your network connection, for your live streaming equipment? How successful have you been, and what tracks do you race at? And don't forget, you can contribute to the MyRaces.Live Score Track Database on MyRaces.Live. If you'd like some help or recommendation to pick a network solution for your live streaming setup, let us know. You can email us or you can find us on our Discord server. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.